This is what we live for on this channel right here. Helldivers 2 is the latest PlayStation console exclusive, and it's a co-op shooter with a ton of character. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. The biggest departure from the original Helldivers is obviously the perspective switch from top-down to third-person. Although the camera angle might have changed, this is still the Helldivers that you remember, if not better. A few words that come to mind when I think of this game: fun, frantic, extremely difficult, and teamwork oriented, which again was the essence of the original Helldivers as well. What you have here is a game that takes the vision of the original and transforms it into a AAA package for a $40 price tag. New perspective, incredibly updated graphics, same Helldivers. As in the previous iteration, friendly fire is always on, so be careful when throwing an explosive near your buddy. Honestly, I hated the friendly fire at first, but the more I realized how it amps up both the difficulty and decision making, the more I learned to love it. You just can't blind fire rocket launchers and expect to get away with it in a game like Helldivers 2. You must think on the fly and make perfect decisions to get through each mission. These missions involve taking down alien threats in an average of 20 to 45 minutes per mission, 45 minutes being probably the cap. There is a just one more mission kind of feeling to the campaign with these shortened outings. I feel like the length is just right in most cases. There are a new variety of weapons to blast aliens away with, and some returning favorites as well. One interesting feature in the sequel is the switch to first person when aiming down sights. While I love the new third person perspective and actually prefer it to the top down angle, I rarely found myself wanting to aim down sights. But who knows, you might love it. The third person hip fire was plenty accurate enough for me. Another new feature in Helldivers 2 is the Game Master. This is basically a real life person that watches the meta and tracks the community. It's a really interesting idea. They'll adjust enemy allocations and shift macro elements of the game based on player involvement and tendencies. It'll be interesting to see how this live Game Master element unfolds as more people get their hands on the game and shift the meta one way or another. With the new perspective comes much updated graphics. Helldivers 2 isn't Alan Wake 2 by any means, but the graphics are heavily improved from the first game. The performance is also stellar, which is obviously more important in a game like this. Having said that, the explosions are satisfying, the enemies chunk off into bits as you blast away. It definitely adds something that the previous iteration was missing. It's just more satisfying overall with the enhanced looks. You know, all in all, I don't see Helldivers 2 winning Game of the Year or anything, but it's certainly the best co-op shooter I've played in quite some time. The actual reliance on teamwork is what separates it from others in recent memory. I would say if you played and enjoyed the first game, this is more of that, but better. Just go get it already. But if you're new to the series and enjoy a good third-person shooter, I'd say go play Returnal first if you're playing solo. That's probably the best third-person shooter on PlayStation as of today. But if you have a friend or two to play with, Helldivers 2 is a must-buy. It's best enjoyed this way and is advertised as so for a reason. All in all, I'm super excited to dive back into Helldivers 2 and can't wait to see what this developer does next.